Heyo! Welcome back to Calithon Stand Strong, where we are going to be playing Pokemon Sword, but the Tower of Two Fists edition, which is the first DLC of the game. I am Conception 2, and I have a familiar voice on commentary if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Heck yeah, it's certified non-racist Nest underscore right now on the mic.
Congratulations, you did it. We're starting off the run here in the clock because I have to set the clock to a very specific time and date in order to get things to work properly. So I'm going to bounce on over to the game now real quick. There we go. And then we will just throw in a quick name as well. I don't believe we had an incentive for the name, but we do have an incentive for Bulbasaur versus Squirtle, which is very important and is not closed yet, so you're not too late.
By the way, we did have an incentive for the name.
Oh, okay, yeah, throw it on. I couldn't remember if we did or not. What do we got?
We did. We've got Jackal, Jackel, and that one with a $15 bid. Oh, sorry, no, it's the other way around. It's Jackal who made the donation. It's Calithon is the name.
Oh, we're doing Calithon. We're doing Calithon. We sure are. Oops, Calithon. All right, awesome.
Can we get a Calithon in the chat?
Calithon's in the chat, please. All right, Calithon, we're going to make this happen. All right, so timer is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, now we have a 2.5 minute cutscene, but so yes, like I said, this is Pokemon Sword. We're going to be running Tower of Two Fists, which is the name of the category for the first DLC pack, which takes place on the Isle of Armor. So what we do in this category is we actually start from a fresh file like you would in any normal run. And then as soon as we can, as soon as we're able, we're going to hop on over to the Isle of Armor and complete all of the DLC's quests. Now, there are two categories for this, which are the Get Urshifu and the Don't Get Urshifu section. It's kind of like a good ending versus a bad ending deal. And we're doing the Get Urshifu one, which is the good ending, so it's a little bit longer. But we're going to try to be as fast as possible as we are speed running this game. So we're gonna be doing it. Two main routes are done with in this category. Usually for like world record and PB attempts, people are going to be using what we call the Sobble route, which is we start with Sobble, we take Sobble all the way through until we need to get our Cubfu, which we need to evolve into Urshifu. I'm going to be doing a different route because it's ever so slightly more marathon safe and only loses you a little bit of time if you're lucky, which is the Ninetales route. So we'll still start with Sobble, and then we will probably like around 30-ish minutes in, if we're lucky, we're going to catch a Vulpix, evolve it into a Ninetales, and then we're going to roll with Ninetales from that point on until about an hour and 10-ish minutes into the run, and then we will get to our Cubfu. The reason why it's a little bit safer is when you use the Sobble, you're kind of dependent on having a good Sobble. You need some good stats, right? We really do not want to have to save and quit every time we get a bad Sobble here, because there's a long cutscene in between, you know, getting the Sobble and when you get to see the Sobble stats for the first time. It's like 2 minutes in between. So we don't need that. We don't need that at all. Well, what we do instead is we catch a Vulpix. If the Vulpix is bad stats, great. We'll just catch another one. We're going to go to like a grove of Vulpix, if you will. So we're not too worried about it. But yeah. That is the long introduction to the run and me talking over this long cutscene that we're almost through. So we did it,
just for a little bit of insight on some of the other routes. Or I think it's Sword Shield any %. You do something similar where you catch a Growlithe and then you evolve it into Arcanine, I think. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, Arcanine and Excadrill is like the two Pokemon you use in that route.
Yeah, you're able to get a bunch of moves super early, and you're just gonna be like a wall that is just unbeatable for like a good part of the game. Mm-hmm. And since you're only doing like up to like not even like an entire gym, right?
We don't do any gyms in this run. Yeah,
you're just gonna be an incredible, great wall.
Yeah,
that will just never be beaten if your stats are good, at least.
Yeah, if you get good stats, and even so, there are a couple points where you could still be beaten, but hopefully we don't have to encounter that. Okay, whoops, not saved. That's not what I wanted. All right, so we need to go in our options and change a bunch of stuff. Oops. Of course. This is the thing to screw up. There we go. There we go. So there's a lot of options to change here to expedite things. So, oops, I forgot to grab the bag. So what we do is we grab we turn off movies, so that'll save us like a little bit of the time in the run. Unfortunately, it doesn't skip like cutscenes, but anything that's kind of more cinematic we'll be able to skip now. So we turn off movies, we turn off the ability to give nicknames to the Pokemon, so that saves every time we have to catch something. It saves us a little bit of time. We speed up the text, we turn off battle animations. You know, we do a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of button pressing, and of course, of all things, I mess up the menuing, but that's fine. We got through it. This is Hop. Hop is fine. Hop is fine. We only get as opposed to a full game run where you fight Hop, I think it's like 9 times or 8 times or something like that. We fight Hop twice in this run, and then after the second time, which is only like 25 minutes into the run, we don't see Hop the rest of the run, so we don't have to deal with it too much. But Hop notoriously loves to talk during battles. That's why it's a little bit of a frustrating perspective from speedrunning, but otherwise I think Hop's a pretty cool character. I have no problem with Hop.
Hop kind of has like a fit going on, honestly.
Yeah, the shoes matching the I think those are like kind of like jogging pants in a way or something like that.
Yeah, like joggers.
Yeah,
the Pokemon equivalent of Adidas pants.
Yeah, Adidas, if you will.
Exactly.
So right now we're just basically doing all of the beginning game stuff. There's really like, there's no tech to any of this at all. Like, we just have to get through these cutscenes and stuff so we can get our first Pokemon. So there's not really too much going on. But as I mentioned up the top, want to plug that Bulbasaur versus Squirtle bid war. I saw, at least I haven't checked today at all, but I saw yesterday that it was going pretty wild with donations, and so I wanted to thank everyone who's donated towards that incentive. Last I had checked, Squirtle was in the lead, but Bulbasaur usually has a way of pulling through if experience has taught me anything. So it's not too late, and like I said, about between 55 minutes and an hour into the run is when we'll have to decide. So if you still want to see one over the other, get those donations in, because it's very important to get money in towards this cause. So
yeah, I have a quick question.
And I will.
Oh,
whoa.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you actually. What are like the how close is this right now? And also, I do know that we have some big numbers on the stream.
Yeah, we do have some big numbers on the stream. So first off, it's pulling away. Squirtle is taking a commanding lead, and it's all thanks to a $226 donation that just came in from Valwy. The only comment was a heart, so thank you very much. We love you too. That's an amazing donation. We also got $20 from Squidwalk with no comment, so thank you very much. And that takes Squirtle to $960 to Bulbasaur's $418. So
Whoa.
It is a runaway right now, but we still have an hour left. It can all change. So, you know, if you want to affect that change, get on out there, get those donations in. And speaking of all those donations, we did cross $4,000 raised for Stop AAPI Hate. We got another $50 in from Skiles9009. Says, I missed the 3K snipe, but I'm going to get this 4K snipe. Also, Pokemon hype?
Nice.
So, yeah, thank you so much. Amazing donations to start this run off. Let's keep that train going, guys.
Yeah, I know Nordic just said Squirtle is pulling away with the commanding lead, but I'm standing by what I said. Bulbasaur usually has a way of pulling through. I've run this in quite a few marathons before, and Bulbasaur usually snakes it, so I think it could still happen. I'm not going to hold my breath and say Squirtle is definitely got it, so it's definitely up there. But also, thank you for all these donations. Just for a reference, I ran Bug Snacks, if you were watching yesterday. I ran Bug Snacks yesterday, and we crossed 1,000 during my Bug Snacks run, which was at like 7 p.m. my time. So since then, not even like a full 24 hours, we've raised an additional $3,000. So that's incredible. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't want to be super biased right now, but I do love Squirtle. I do love Bulbasaur, but we were praising Mort like all day yesterday, and Bulbasaur is just a grass type Mort. I'm sorry to say, Bulbasaur is just a grass type Mort. So if you want to praise Mort, donate to Bulbasaur.
Yep. Yep, get it done. We're finally in our first battle of the game, by the way. 8.5 minutes in. So we're gonna take on Hop for the first time. There is not much going on with this fight. Hop has 2 Pokemon, throws out the Wooloo first, and then based off of your starter choice, he'll have the weaker version of your starter, actually, which is a little bit different than most other Pokemon games. So I chose Sobble. That means after I use Pound on this Wooloo probably 3 times, he will throw out, you would think, Grookey, the grass type, but actually it's going to be Scorbunny, the fire type. So that works out in our favor. We can take out Scorbunny pretty fast, especially because we're going to level up to 6 here and then gain access to Water Gun. So we can one-shot with a crit or 2-shot the Scorbunny. So, but then that's the whole fight. Nothing too complicated. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the 2-shot. The crit, while it would make it a 1-turn fight with the Scorbunny, would actually also trigger some additional text from Hop, so it's like a little bit of a trade-off as to whether or not you even want it. But here we go. That's another thing that's kind of annoying about Hop in terms of a speedrunning perspective. Depending on how things go, he will interject with like lines that take up time. We'll see that a little bit in his second fight as well, but like if you crit, he'll have something to say about it. He always wants to talk about how you're using type advantages against him, all these things. He's got a lot to say, is all.
Yeah, he talks so much, but like his character's cool, but he talks so much.
Yeah, it's definitely cool development, but like just from a speedrunning perspective, you're just like, please don't do this.
Yeah, like the Adidas joggers pants, like that's cool, right? It almost makes up for the fact that he talks so much.
Us talking about the style makes me want to shout out a leaderboard category extension of this game, which is called Flex on Mom. So, and then it expands further from that. You can flex on 4 moms, you can flex on all kinds of people, and to meet the category requirements, basically what you do is you get to that first Pokemon, I don't know what it's called, like a stylist for lack of a better term, outfit yourself with the Arcanine shirt. It costs like 30,000, and then you go in front of whatever character you're meant to flex on for the category. Flex on Mom is just one of the most popular ones, and then you do the spin move where you just spin around entirely and then you point up at the sky. That's it. That's the category.
Honestly, I think that's the most serious competitive Pokemon Sword and Shield category.
Yeah, anyone who plays this game needs to do a flex category because it's where the real gamers are.
Have you ever done one?
No, actually I haven't.
Wow.
I'm a poser.
The hypocrisy on the Calithon.
Absolutely a poser. By the way, so we're in Slumbering Weld here. We hit 3 encounters. Hitting the encounters themselves are scripted, but meaning we'll always hit the same Pokemon. It'll always be a Skwovet, a Rookidee, and another Skwovet. But their stats and abilities are actually random, like you would in a regular Pokemon fight. So there's a chance on the Rookidee you could save like a second if it doesn't have the Unnerve ability, because if it has Unnerve, then it'll go into it at the beginning like enemy Rookidee's Unnerve makes it so you can't use berries or whatever it does. I think that's what it does. But of course we got a Rookidee that had Unnerve, so no free 1 second. But yeah, the reason why they're randomized in abilities and stats and stuff like that is because you can battle and catch them if you wanted to. Obviously we don't need them for anything here, but you can battle and catch them. And then we have basically an interactive cutscene here. So we see one of the legendaries of the game. We enter into a battle with it, in quotes, whereas all you can do is attempt to use Pound and then nothing will work. You do that for 3 turns until the screen whites out, basically. So it's definitely just a cutscene that you can't do anything about.
It's really funny, like watching like your little like water lizard try and like kill God right now.
I was talking with a few of my friends at one time about, I think it's the I Choose You movie of Pokemon, which is kind of like a remake of like Ash's origin story a little bit, but it also includes like non-Gen 1 Pokemon too. And my friend was telling me that they watched it, and like at one point, Ash's like, you know, presumably low level Pikachu just goes to take on Entei and absolutely gets thrashed.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. That's what this reminds me of. Yeah, that's what this reminds me of. I haven't seen that movie though.
We should have a watch party for that. Calithon watch party.
Yeah. I'll throw that up as an incentive. I'm sure it'll go fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Not even like put it on the schedule, just like a 1.5 hour incentive.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. We'll finish the marathon at like 1 a.m. still. Psh.
Yeah, that would be 1 a.m. Pacific, right? So that's like 3 a.m. my time.
Yeah.
I mean, what are schedules? It's fine.
Yeah, schedules are just a suggestion.
Merely suggestions, yeah. All right, so we're now going to be exiting the Weld. Very important here that I like, because I like to forget to do this sometimes. We actually have to go back and talk to Mom for a second. Or else if we try to progress, Hop will be like, hey, did you talk to your mom? So we got to talk to Mom. It's fast. And then we're going.
I know you're talking to Mom, but are you going to flex on her?
Yeah, I'll do a flex. Why not?
Let's go.
I don't have the shirt, but hold on.
She's wearing overalls. You still have more style than her.
Flexed on her.
Yes. That's incredible.
Yep. I forgot how to do it for a second. You have to like really spin it fast. So I was just like throwing myself around the room for a second there, but we got it.
It almost looked like Twitch plays Pokemon for like a few minutes.
Twitch speedruns Pokemon. Okay, so we're gonna go in our first like route, grass area, and we need to catch a Pokemon here. We're gonna aim for Wooloo, and we're gonna hope that this Wooloo is level 5 or 6. If not, it's fine. But if it's level 5 or 6, we'll actually level up to 8 before our next battles, which speeds them up a little bit. Hey, it's level 5. There we go. So yeah, it makes it so that we're level 8. Obviously, that raises our stats. That means we can kill Pokemon ever so slightly faster in our next battles. So that was lucky. So that worked out. That'll help save on the flexing on Mom time. So very good. And then though, not only do we need to catch a Pokemon there just to like, you know, up our stats a little bit, but it allows us to skip a catch tutorial from Leon on Route 2. If we hadn't caught anything by Route 2, we'd have a unskippable catch tutorial. So we want to catch something anyway. We might as well catch something that's going to help us. All right, and then we get another little bit of a cutscene here where we get our Pokedex for the first time, yada yada yada. A lot of upfront cutscenes, and then the action picks up, like pretty much not too long after the second hop fight. A little bit when we get to the wild area, that's when we get a lot of cool speed tech, and then the action picks up a little bit more as well. But because we start a fresh file, we got to go through all of the hand holding that Pokemon wants to do in these newer generations. So got to get through it all. But shout outs to Yamper, because Yamper is very cute.
I think I asked this before. I don't remember. Is Yamper the name of the Pokemon, or is it just a nickname?
That's the name of the Pokemon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yamper,
because I've never played this generation.
Yeah, it's electric corgi. So I mean, how do you go wrong?
Those are just two incredible things
put
together. Make one incredible boy.
Yeah. Yamp. That's how it barks. Too cute, too cute. I'm a big sucker for dog Pokemon. I love dog Pokemon. Those are my favorites. All right, so just after we get through this cutscene, we're gonna go in this little swirling grove here, and we're gonna pick up this item if it lets me. Hello, thank you. Which is a rare candy, which we may or may not have to use near the end game, but we're gonna grab it regardless, just in case, because it's not really terribly far out of our way. And then we're gonna go talk to Hop, who's gonna introduce us to Pokemon centers a little bit, which is fine because we actually need to make a deposit anyway. We don't need to use the Wooloo we caught for anything else beyond skipping the catch tutorial and getting that little bit extra boost of XP. So we're just going to deposit it because we don't want it to drain the XP from other encounters that we fight from Sobble. So, all right, there we go. And then we can head out. How you can see Hop up there. We're going to make one tiny little pit stop. We're going to talk to this berry salesman. Grab a few P.E.K.K.A berries, which if you're unfamiliar, P.E.K.K.A berries, when used, heal poison. Which you will see in a little bit why that could be useful. We'll definitely use at least one of them. And then we might have to use, you know, more. But 3 is usually all you would ever need in a very unlucky run even. So.
Okay, I'm sorry to bring this up again. I just want to point out Hop again. His absolute Chad stance, his feet are open so wide. And like his entire body is just like incredibly open. He's like ready for anything right now. Like, do you see him?
Yep. With a smile on his face too. He's ready for anything and he's happy about it, you know?
Yeah.
And then just starts sprinting off.
Yeah. It's a Chad stance. It's a Chad stance.
I've never been more ready than Hop for anything. All right, so we're gonna have our first trainer encounter here. Like I said, not too much going on here, but because we are level 8, so this trainer has a Squobit, that's it. Because we are level 8, it makes it so that this fight, which might have taken like 3 or 4 turns, will usually take 2 or 3 turns. So it has the potential to save us up to 2 turns just because we leveled up once, which is very good. Looks like we're gonna have to 3-turn it. All that means is that our special is not very good, which is exactly why I don't usually do the Sobble route in a marathon setting, because even if your Sobble is absolute junk, which mine isn't particularly good, it seems, especially in the special attack department, it's fine. You can just run with it. You don't need to worry about it because we're not going to be using Sobble all day. So if my special attack was good, we could easily 2-shot that Squovit. All right, and then there's another trainer up here in front of the rock, but we're gonna do a swoop to whoop right behind her, so we don't have to fight her. And then we do have to fight this one. Now this trainer is a bit annoying. Throws out a blip bug at first, which always uses struggle bug, and struggle bug is a move that lowers your special attack. So it makes it so that my water guns are gonna be weaker, which is very unfortunate because that's gonna make things last longer. The only way you can avoid it is if your special attack is high and you get a crit, but that almost never happens.
I would like to point out the Sobble special attack already isn't very good, and the fact that it gets lowered just makes this fight painful. Yeah. Makes it not fun.
So Blip Bug is a 2-shot almost always, which is fine. It's the Nick It that's really really annoying. One loves to use quick attack, so you know he gets off a few jabs at the beginning. But yeah, this fight is going to take probably a good 4 turns. Yeah, it looks like 4. But that's pretty normal. Oh wait, did we get a... No, it was 3 turns. Okay, it's still pretty good though, so that's fine. We'll take it. I think it's because we also got the level up there. After the Blip Bug, we leveled up to 9, just barely. So that definitely helps as well. All right, so this is the professor of the region, which is her name is Magnolia. She's pretty cool. But this is going to be pretty much the only time we see her. She's around for like this whole next little segment, but like most of the run. Actually, I haven't played this game casually in a while, but I don't remember her particular involvement a lot in the game as a whole. But definitely in this run, she's not involved at all. But you know, they're gonna set us up. They're gonna give us a free heal, which is great. This run has a lot of free heals, which is very handy. And then we're gonna battle Hop for the 2nd time. And Hop has slightly elevated the party. Throws in a 3rd Pokemon, which is a Rookie D. But otherwise, this fight is, you know, not really much of note. We're going to be water gunning to win, and hoping that we get fortuitous choices to make this ever so slightly faster. And by fortuitous choices, I mean fortuitous choices from Hop, not from us, because we don't have to do anything besides water gun here. All right, so Wooloo's out first. This Wooloo will probably take you. You can do it in 2 hits if you have good special, but it'll probably take 3. I'm guessing with our special. But let's see here. Maybe we can be surprised. Oh yeah, no, never mind. We're good. That's fine. That's plenty fine. All right, so next is the Score Bunny, and the Score Bunny is where a variance in time can occur. So now Score Bunny is slightly leveled up, which means that it has 2 moves that it can choose from: Tackle or Ember, none of which are a concern of us health-wise. But if Hop chooses Ember, he also has a special dialogue. So let's see if we get it. No, we didn't get it. So if he had chose Ember, he says something along the lines of like, our stars are burning bright or something like that. I don't know, some corny anime line. And then Score Bunny uses Ember, so we skip that whole second. Plus, Ember has a chance to burn, which makes us even slower. So we don't have to deal with any of that, which is great. And then finally with the Rookie D, can be 1 shot. If we got a crit at this point, it would be the 1 shot, but nah, 2 shots pretty normal.
Did the crit chance change in this game, or is it still like 1 in 16?
I believe it's still 1 in 16. I'm not as familiar with new gens as I am with Gen 1, which is where my bread and butter is, but I believe it's still the same 1 in 16.
At least you can't Gen 1 miss in this game.
No, no, you cannot Gen 1 miss. Thank God, because that would be. There's a couple things where you need to hit in this run, or else you just flat out die. So yeah, I'm very thankful we don't have to deal with that. But there we are through Hop 2, which is, like I said, the last of our Hop fights. We're almost done with Hop entirely. He's still going to be around a little bit as we get through this cutscene and then get into the wild area. So he's still going to be around a little bit, but we don't have to battle him anymore, so that's nice. Lore wise, what's happening here? We get some wishing stars, which we're going to head inside the building. They're going to turn them into our Dynamax bands for us. Which, if you're unfamiliar, Dynamax is the gimmick move of this generation. We will get to see a Dynamax. We will do a Dynamax 1 time in this run. So you will get to see some Dynamax action. It'll be a good time.
That's big if true, or I guess Dynamax if true.
I was gonna say it's big regardless. Yeah. Even if it's untrue, it's still big.
Yeah, it's still massive. Absolutely huge.
Still huge. Still huge. Still big if huge.
Huge if Dynamax.
Yeah.
Something like that.
yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. We have time to figure it out. We're not too far into the run. So yes, here we go. Still finishing out this cutscene. Now, the wild area is where things get really interesting, because what makes this run so unique and why I like it so much is that you don't get to depend on things that you get used to depending on in other Pokemon runs. Mainly, we don't get a bike ever, and we don't get to fly ever. So you have to do some unique things in order to travel to places faster. The main thing that we're going to do regarding that is death warps. So we have to be we'll end up being very strategic with our death warps in quite a few places, and it starts in the wild area. So that's what makes this run pretty unique, pretty special. But first we got to get through these routes without hitting any extra encounters. Worth mentioning, one thing that makes that Gen 8 speedrunning is really great for, as opposed to other gens, is that we don't have to depend on repels and stuff, because you can see all of the wild Pokemon before they happen. So that's great. So you can usually just dodge everything in these grassy areas.
I'm crying in Gen 4 Manipulus right now.
Yeah, where you just get absolutely demolished by encounters for one, but two, Gen 4 is notoriously slow, like health bar drains. So like anytime you have to get into a fight you don't want to get into and you have to end up killing it, you also just have to watch that health bar slowly go down.
Yeah, like on the contrary, Gen 5 Manipulus is like incredibly good, because like it's like super quick. Gen 4 Manipulus is just so slow, and then like there's so many encounters, and then the extremely slow health bar, and then just the difficulty of the runs to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, Pokemon runs are not easy. It's not because they usually have a lot of tricks or anything like that, unless you're doing a glitch category, of course. It's more so that you just have to adapt quickly. You have to know what to do if things go wrong. Which is kind of, it's its own unique challenge in a way.
Yeah. Also, the moms, they just look like friends.
Yeah, I think
they look like
are.
They're chilling.
I think they are chilling. I think they're big chilling. I think they're
They
Dynamax
like,
chilling.
Yeah. Dynamax chilling.
Yeah.
They look like they have book club later, but they look like they're like not even worried about making it on time.
Just want to really quickly shout out my favorite NPC in this game, who I like to call Track Burns. He works at the train station, and he has train tracks as sideburns, and I've never been more dedicated to anything in my life. Imagine,
I would never do that, but that's so cool.
Yeah, imagine carving your sideburns into whatever your job is. That's dedication.
Absolute dedication. Yeah.
So, and I call them track burns. All right, so here's the wild area. So a few things open up here for us. We are going to get access to like a remote Pokemon box now, which means that we can deposit and withdraw Pokemon wherever we are. We don't have to go to a PC anymore. Great inclusion. Love that. That'll be a little bit useful for us in a little bit. And then we're going to access the wild area. Now, if you recall at the beginning of my run, I had my Switch's clock set to a very specific time and date. And that is for this reason. It's going to it affects the weather of the wild area. And it makes it so that in this case, it's going to be a drought. And the weather effect of a drought is that it boosts the power of fire type moves. If you recall, I'm going to be using the Ninetales route, famously fire type. So that is why we're going to be altering it. But it also makes it so that Vulpixes spawn a lot more in general. So that also helps. First thing that we're going to do is this Onix here. Now, depending on which route you do, you want something very different to happen. If you're doing the Sobble route, you need to depend on killing Onix here. If you're doing the Ninetales route, you want Onix to kill you as fast as possible. So it could not be more opposite, which I was excited to see that we got Rock Slide in the first move, because a Rock Slide would one-shot us, but it's not a 100% move, and of course it missed. So,
don't you use that in red and blue?
Yeah, we do use it in red and blue. We only use it for Lavender Tower, actually. Yeah, it's like a 90% accurate move.
Yeah, it feels like 70%.
Yeah. All right, so we're dead. That took forever, unfortunately, but we are finally dead. So we wanted to die here, yes. And that is because when we die, we get warped back to this NPC. This NPC says, all right, first we're gonna heal your Pokemon. How you doing? Do you want me just to take you immediately to the next town? So you cross the entire wild area without having to walk it, which is great because, again, we don't have a bike. So we will need to get to areas as fast as possible. But the reason why we want to travel to this next area is actually we want to walk all the way over here and cross this bridge and then go back across, because we need to pick up a Firestone. Again, we need to catch a Vulpix, get it to a Ninetales somehow, which is with the Firestone, so that's what we're going to need. And then we're going to do another Death Warp. We're just Death Warping all over the place.
This one should be faster, though, at least if I remember the route correctly.
This part of the route is faster. So it's a little give and take. It's a little give and take because using these Death Warps to traverse is a bit faster, but we also have to catch a Vulpix. We actually have to fight an encounter with the Ninetales as well to level it up a little bit. So all that stuff wastes extra time. Whereas if we just had Sobble, we don't have to worry about any of that. I'm gonna hit this Skorupi actually. But we would have to do other things like go get a quick ball, heal up at a Pokemon Center and have an extra cutscene and stuff like that. So, and we don't have to depend on as many Death Warps as well. So, like if here we have 2 Death Warps. I believe it's just the one, or it might be 2 actually. But one of them is like guaranteed in the Sobble route. But this one, like the Onyx, for example, it can just really troll you and keep using Curse or Screech and never hit you. And it can just take forever. Usually the second Death Warp is pretty fast, but the Onyx one in particular is annoying.
Also, right. I don't remember 100% how the wild area works, but you may be wondering, like, hey, like, if we're going all the way over here, finding, like, level 40s, why can't you just catch that and use that instead? I don't think you can catch that until, like, mid-game. I think it's, like, a badge requirement. I don't remember.
Yeah, so this game, and I don't know if it's introduced in this gen or if it's in earlier gens because I'm not as familiar, but in this game, you cannot easily catch a Pokemon that's a higher level than you. It makes it significantly harder. Even if it's one level higher than you, it makes it significantly harder. So it's not like we can easily just go and, we can't do any manipulations to guarantee it goes in the ball or anything like that. We would have like no recourse to catch something so high level, basically. So we're now getting our Vulpix. As you can see, they're bountiful here. We could not take a level 7. It's just too weak, unfortunately. Even if it had like top tier stats, it's just too low of a level. 8 is the lowest level that we can take. And then after we catch this Vulpix, we need it to have some particular stats. Specifically, we need it to have good special attack and good speed. Those are the two really that we care about. So now that I've caught this Vulpix, we're going to go in our menu here in a second. All right, so we're going to go into our menu, go to the Pokemon, go to the box. Handy feature here that lets you look at the stats. So 14 is good. This is a really good Vulpix, actually. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to move it up top, then go into our bag. Equip the Firestone here. Well, not equip, use it, rather. And then now we're going to have a Ninetales right away. Yeah, we needed to have... So, if you're unfamiliar with Pokemon stats and how they work, so basically, you can have things be plus, neutral, or minus, more or less, just to give it in 3 broad categories. And what we're looking for, ideally, is to have pluses for both speed and special attack. We can get by with neutral on both. It just is a little bit more challenging. And right now, I have potentially neutral or plus special attack, and I have plus speed. So this is pretty good. And then we're going to come over to this Ninjask. And then we're going to fight this with our Ninetales for some nice level up action. The reason why we do this Ninjask, beyond obviously that we get the type advantage, is that this Ninjask is not very likely to hit you. It can hit you, of course, like it just did. But it loves to use like speed boosting moves instead. All right, so we're actually gonna have to heal here just to be safe, which is unfortunate because that's pretty slow. But we would have had to heal anyway, even if we got hit, just the once, because that took our health down quite a bit for a couple other fights. Stop hitting me. Like I promise that it is not very likely to hit you, but 3 out of the 4 moves it used were damaging, so. And the moves, that particular move it's a higher damaging move. So it also has Scratch, which does damage, but it's not very damaging. But of course, never used it. Marathons, am I right?
Can you also find like Shedinja in the wild area?
So what is in the wild area is completely dependent on the weather and the time of year and the day. So everything, it always changes. But that is why we have it particularly set to April 15th at close to midnight. Is because the nighttime, the drought, and the Vulpix spawns.
Wait, yesterday was April 15th. What the heck?
I know. If I'd done my run yesterday at 11:45, when you had to change the chime.
That'd be real funny. Yep.
But we will change the time one other time in the run, but not for quite a while. So that's Trackburn's talking to an NPC that's going to be very important to our DLC story. But we have to do one other thing first, which is we have to go run to this Pokemon Center real quick. Just like Ness was talking about near the beginning, this game has a mechanic included where you can go to any Pokemon Center and go talk to this person, and it could teach you a move that your Pokemon could learn at any point in its level up. So we basically can just create our own moveset here with the entire moveset of Ninetales. you know, moves that I could learn at like level 50 or 60, or I could just learn right now instead. So we're just going to completely outfit it with a different move set that's going to, you know, be good for us.
Yeah, keep in mind, if you're doing Sobble route, you'd be using like water pulse. And like I don't remember what other moves.
I think there's a muddy water. Yeah, muddy water too, if I remember correct. Yeah.
Forgot about that move.
And then
yeah, you would not have like flamethrower.
Yeah.
And fire blast.
Nope. Yeah, so the moves that we get are Nasty Plot, which is a move that significantly raises your special attack. Obviously good for specific reasons. Flamethrower, nice damaging move, very powerful. Safeguard, which when you use it, it gives you 5 turns for free that you cannot have your status be altered. Like you can't be poisoned, you can't be confused, things like that. Which is useful for a couple of key times in the run. And then Fire Blast, which is obviously a heavily damaging move, but not a 100% accurate move. So, but first we got to catch this Slowpoke. I talked a little bit about before that this game has a mechanic in place that if a Pokemon is a higher level than you, it makes it significantly harder to catch, like way harder. So we have to get around that with the Slowpoke a little bit because my Ninetales is level 10, but the Slowpoke is level 12. So we're gonna Flamethrower it once just to weaken it a little bit. Fine, we'll take a little bit of damage there, and we're gonna do a quick swap to Sobble, who is level 12. Same level is fine. It makes it so that it evens out. So now we're same level, and we're gonna throw a ball, and it should get in on the first one. Now, because we don't have a second Pokemon that we use in the Sobble route of this, we actually, instead of doing that, we get a quick ball. I think at this point Sobble is level 13 or 14 instead because we use it a little bit more. And then we just throw a quick ball on the first turn to catch the Slowpoke instead. So that's another little bit of time save on the Sobble route. But again, this is a little bit more marathon safe. Plus, like, I like showcasing this route more because it's not as popular. Even though it's still pretty competitive. Like, it's the current world record of this category uses the Sobble route, but it's not, theoretically you can get a pretty close time with the Ninetales route too. But like, I just like showing off like unique, no, that's not what I wanted. Unique different routes for things. There we go.
Yeah, the Ninetales route of this run is kind of like the Candy Floss route of any percent. Yeah. By the way, shout out to Candy Floss route.
Yeah, so good. Love a good Candy Floss route. We are now at the Isle of Armor, by the way, so we are fully off the main game and onto the DLC now. Took a while, but we got there. The only flying we're going to do in the game right there. Okay. So we got, you know, the professor's assistant here is going to update our Pokedex, blah, blah, blah. You know, anytime you enter a new area, that's how it'd be. Going to do a couple key things here. First, we're going to go into our bag and we're going to equip a Cherry Berry. I am actually, while we're in the bag, because my Ninetales health is a little bit low, I'm actually going to heal just to be safe as well. And then we're going to go into our box and we're actually going to deposit both Sobble and the, nope. There we go. No, come on. There we go. Well, that was meant to be more smooth. You can just multi-select both of those Pokemon. But we're going to deposit both the Slowpoke we just caught and the Sobble. We no longer need them.
Don't worry, I was closing my eyes for like 15 seconds.
Good. I'm glad you didn't see that.
It just looked optimal to me.
Yeah, great. It was optimal. What do you mean? Yeah, that's key RNG manipulation, of course. But no. So this is Clara, by the way, who has now become our main antagonist for the DLC. She's an inspiring gym leader and a member of the dojo that we're about to meet. But first, we need to do some shopping. We're gonna grab some potions and some awakenings, which hopefully we don't have to use the awakenings, but almost always you have to use at least one. You'll see why in a little bit. But we're going to battle Clara here. We're going to be battling Clara a total of 3 times, so we're going to see her evolve quite a bit. But this is one of the key differences between sword and shield. So this antagonist is specific to sword. If you and Clara is a poison type specialist. If you were to play the shield version, you fight, I believe their name is Avery. I don't have shield, so I don't know. I believe their name is Avery, and they're a psychic type specialist. So you could see how that would be a little bit more challenging. But we're gonna nasty plot to raise our special attack, and then flamethrower, which is gonna completely crush this Venipede as it's a bug type. So easy peasy.
I'd also like to note it's dab flamethrower.
Oh, dab flamethrower. Okay, okay. What does that mean for me?
I don't remember the exact percentage, but it does a bit more damage than just regular stock flamethrower.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay, so I thought you said dab flamethrower.
Oh no, not dab. No.
I was like, what does that mean for me?
No. Stab, like
stab. Same
like
type
shank.
attack bonus. Yeah. Same type attack bonus. Yeah. So it does give us a little bit of a boon there. Yeah. I thought you meant like I had to dab or something every time I used it.
I was going to say, is that a hidden incentive?
Yeah. You can dab for money. You can dab for money.
Yeah. I'll dab for money for sure. I'm not above the dabbing for money. Yeah. I don't dab for free. But yeah, so that's the Clara fight. So you can actually one-shot that Slowpoke. I was never going to be able to because I took a level 8 Vulpix, which means that I went into that fight a little bit low level, which means I'll almost always, even if my special attack's really good, I'll almost always have to two-shot that Slowpoke, which is fine. Not a big deal, just waste an extra turn. But now we're going to make our way up to the dojo, dodging some wild encounters here. Shout out to another dog Pokemon right there. I believe I forget what that dog Pokemon's name is, but I want to make a team of all dog Pokemon one day for a playthrough. Also, shout out to Alolan Diglett, which is only different with like a few hairs on top of its head, I believe.
Whatever. Diglett kind of fire.
Yeah, kind of fire. And for each of the 2 DLCs that they have for Sword and Shield, there's always like a little like weird collectible thing to do, and that's what this one is. There's 150 Diglett across this island, and you just have to find them. That's it. Which sounds like it would be a lot, but really doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that much time, apparently. I've never done it, but I've been told it really doesn't add that, doesn't take much time to find. They're all over the place.
Did somebody say incentive for Diglett? I'm kidding.
I wouldn't even know where to start. We'd be roaming around this whole island trying to find stuff.
We'd be here until like Sunday morning.
Okay, so the last menu I did where I healed up my Ninetales a little bit and I equipped a Cherry Berry. So that Cherry Berry actually was not for that Clara fight that we did. It's actually for this next fight coming up against the Dojo Master, whose name is Mustard. And what a Cherry Berry does when equipped is it will heal paralysis. And this upcoming fight with Mustard, he has a Minfu who usually uses the same moves in the same order almost every time. Sometimes it could go all off script, but usually uses the same moves, which are Fake Out, which will cause us to flinch on the first turn, and then it will use Force Palm, which has a chance to paralyze, which is why we equipped the Cherry Berry just in case. And then we'll kill it by then, so we don't have to worry about what comes next. But here we are, we're in the dojo. These are students of Mustard who they're undertaking various challenges and tasks in order to help defend the island and become worthy of what Mustard calls the secret armor of the island. The Isle of Armor, kind of makes sense. And we'll get to see a little bit of what that is later on. But first, you got to give a big shout out to Mustard's eyebrows. Past his chin.
I still mentally cannot handle this. I just cannot get it.
Eyebrows past the chin, past the little soul patch even.
I didn't even realize he has a soul patch until just now. Oh my god. Seriously.
So good.
And this whole time I thought those were bangs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, I gotta assume they're eyebrows. It looks like actually we know for a fact they're eyebrows, and you'll see why later. But we know they're eyebrows. We'll just leave it at that for now. All right, so fight with mustard here. Like I said, usually has a nice script to it. Fake out, we're gonna flinch. Yep, there we go. Then we're gonna use nasty plot again. Up our special attack. Force palm again, pretty scripted. Great, we didn't get stunned there, which is good. And then we have to use fire blast here because Mienfoo usually will. The flamethrower, if our special is good and we're high enough level, is like a range. Which we don't, if we can avoid the range, we won't. So we'll use Fire Blast. It is a little bit risky because we can just straight up miss Fire Blast. But, you know, that worked out for us. And then Shinx, we can just use Flamethrower to take down.
Yeah, with that, it's kind of like a give and take because, like, you really don't want to miss the range, but at the same time, you really don't want to miss the Fire Blast because I think it's like 85%, right?
Yeah. It's 85%. But if you give Mienfoo another turn, it will kill you. So. You don't really have much of a choice. You have to go for Fire Blast and hope it hits, or you know, it would be the same outcome. You die anyway on the next turn. So
just Gen 1 miss Flamethrower.
Yeah, fine. Easy. Yeah.
That's just the optimal outcome.
Shout out to Java, who is my pug, who is again barking in the background at nothing. He loves doing that.
How much money to show Java on stream?
Show Java on stream?
Yeah.
If we get some donations, for Java, I'll definitely show them on stream. I won't even set an amount. Just if you want to see a pug on stream, donate your money. Hidden incentive.
You heard him, folks.
Yeah. Do it up. Lore wise, what's happening? So we're joining the dojo. Everyone's got these cool yellow outfits on. Clara's upset she doesn't have an outfit. And then what happens? These slowpokes, who don't look particularly slow, steals her outfit, her dojo outfit. And what we have to do is one of our 3 tasks of succeeding, of the dojo and becoming like the keeper of the secret armor of the island, is we have to solve these 3 tasks. The first task: catch these slowpoke, or fast poke, if you will. So we're gonna get through this cutscene. It's gonna ask us if we want to change our clothes back, which is actually faster to not. So we're gonna be sticking with the dojo outfit, which is good. It's a mood. And then we're going to heal up a little. 1 potion is fine here. Good. Now this is a big difference in routing as well. So if we're doing the Sobble route during the slowpoke section, it's actually a lot slower in this one split because a few things happen. One, our Sobble would evolve it into Drizzle or Drizzle. I don't know how to pronounce it. So that wastes a lot of time because we have that animation. But we also have to buy a few items and then teach a TM as well for Sobble, which we don't have to do any of that with Ninetales. So no evolution, no teaching of moves, no buying items. We just go straight into the DLC's version of the wild area. This particular part is called the Soothing Wetlands. No, Bouffalant, which is that big bull Pokemon that just popped out of nowhere, is like my worst enemy. If they spot you, they just straight up charge you, and you will almost always get hit by them. So luckily we were fine. Here's our first Slowpoke. We're gonna fight 3 of them. You have to fight and defeat them. That is an important distinction. And they have some annoying moves. So one thing you don't want to see is turn 1 Yawn. Yawn is a move that will put you to sleep after your 2nd turn from it being used. So luckily we did not get turn 1 Yawn. Turn 2 Yawn is fine. Not a problem, because by the time we would be put to sleep, Slowpoke will already be dead. So this was an optimal fight. Another annoying thing that can happen is, so usually the moveset here is Nasty Plot, Flamethrower, and you hope for a crit, because a crit will one-shot it. But if you don't, then you use Flamethrower again. But what can happen a lot of times is that after you use Flamethrower the first time, Slowpoke likes to use Disable, and then disable your Flamethrower. So you then have to swap to Fire Blast and hope it hits. So that could be pretty annoying.
Does Fire Blast one shot, like, compared to like
no
the Flamethrower that doesn't? Okay.
No. Otherwise we would just use that probably. Even with a Nasty Plot, it does a little bit more damage than Flamethrower, but it doesn't one shot, unfortunately.
Okay.
I see. or else we would probably. All right. Well, I used Nasty Plot twice. It's not a big deal. Now Flamethrower will one shot, but instead of Nasty Plotting twice in Flamethrower, which guarantees to make it 3 turns, you know, we Nasty Plot once and then Flamethrower to hope for the crit to make it a 2-turn potential. So it doesn't really affect things. It just made a guaranteed 3-turn fight. My health is a wee bit low, unfortunately. I'm gonna avoid the Scraggy here who's eyeing me, and then I'm gonna throw on a quick heal, I think. Which is too bad. I would actually prefer my health to be low, but not that low. Because we're going to do a Death Warp after this next Slowpoke. Alright, so it always looks like you can, if I was walking fast enough, I could have hit that Slowpoke early, but you never can, no matter how fast you move. You'll never be able to hit it. You have to wait for it to come back around. So, 3rd and final Slowpoke. Hopefully we don't get trolled too much. Confusion is
I know
fine.
this isn't GDQ, but can we see the whale? Is that a thing that you can do? Like, can you arrange for us to see the whale?
We can see it from a distance, but because I don't have the bike, I can't swim out there. So I could look at it from a distance. That's best I can offer.
Listen, I know we just added 2 incentives, but
yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. No worries. But yeah, we would just have to look at it from a distance. I can't go right up to it and catch it like Etiquette did in the GDQ run, which was legendary. Catch it and then have it drift behind you.
Speaking of incentives, mind if I jump in with a couple things going on here?
Yeah, go for it. We're gonna do a Death Warp here.
Right on.
So.
Well, first off, we've got $30 coming in from 2 Worlds, so thank you for that. They say, Calithon has come so far, and I'm so proud of everyone who's been involved since the start, consistently working with excellent people and excellent causes. And Stop AAPI Hate is one of the best causes I've seen so far. Save the frames, and the animals too. Well, thank you, 2 Worlds. And that $30 actually took us over the top on one of our upcoming incentives, which is to see the Majima Saga bonus run for Yakuza Kiwami 2. So we have met that incentive. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for your generosity to make that happen. The next big one I'd like to see get hit is also for Yakuza Kiwami 2. It would be to increase the difficulty to Legend. We need to raise $1,000 to make that happen. And you want to see it. Legendary difficulty on that game is something special. So let's see if we can't get some money in for that. And yeah, thank you all for your absolute generosity.
And just for a quick thing, how is our Bulbasaur Squirtle build? We're gonna have to close it. I should have told you in advance. But what did we end up with? Squirtle?
Yeah. Squirtle went by a country mile here. We got $960 for Squirtle versus Bulbasaur sitting at $418.
Wow.
Oh, we could have made that 420.
Oh, come on. Missed
Twitch chat.
Who's got the $2? Who's got the $2 for the meme? Come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You won't win, but you can get the meme. We got
Honestly, that's kind of more important.
And I don't want to be biased, but like, shout out to Squirtle. Like this lives on my desk. So like, you knew that's what I wanted.
I mean, if it matters, I have a Chikorita plush on my wall.
Yeah. Chikorita, underrated in my opinion.
Incredibly underrated.
All right, so we got our Squirtle. We are going to straight up deposit Squirtle right away. But don't worry, Squirtle will come back into play later on. But right now, we're not going to use Squirtle for anything. But I don't want you to think like you donated all this money for nothing. So we are going to deposit first. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're actually going to equip a different berry. We're going to give the Pekka berry to Ninetales. Go in the box, deposit Squirtle. Great. Awesome. And we are now on challenge 2, by the way, of the dojo. Wanted to bring up the point that if just a reminder, the Slowpoke stole the pieces of Clara's dojo uniform, this yellow outfit, right? So we had to defeat the 3 Slowpoke to get the pieces of the uniform back. Right after that challenge, Clara never changes into that outfit. Never changes. Stays in her same outfit. So like, what was that whole deal for?
What a fool.
Like, come on.
Saved like 7 minutes.
Yeah, that was so long. That's such a long segment. Come on. But yeah, she never changes. Second challenge here, we have to collect max mushrooms for a max soup that we're going to eat. Max mushrooms, when eaten by Pokemon, give it like the ability for Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing and stuff. But to use it like in battle, like as a battle item, they're severely overpowered. So Max Mushroom raises every stat at once. So it's not like, you know, it just raises one stat randomly. It raises every stat all at once. So we're actually going to use them in this route for a few different fights. So they're pretty important beyond being just like a quest item. We're going to take a pit stop and grab that Hyper Potion, because that Hyper Potion will be useful later on. And we're going to just navigate our way through the woods here, so that we can get to a cave where the mushrooms grow. That is where we're going to fight Clara 2, or Clara for the second time, rather. And the second fight with Clara is a complete pushover. In fact, we often have to stall because we want to get into a lower health. So that fight is just, it's almost nothing.
Also, you see how long the walking is now? This is why we death warp.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Imagine having to walk all the way back. And this one, there's a little cutscene that Mustard gets us like halfway. Like he starts us at the base of the forest, which means we didn't have to traverse the entire wetlands to get there even. So
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he gets us halfway there. So yeah, death warping becomes very, very important, especially doing it quickly. So here's our max mushrooms. Here's Clara. She's like, no, I want the max mushrooms because I want to win the challenge. And we'll be like, nah, that's not how it works. Let's fight.
What happens if you say the other option?
Nothing. It's just like Pokemon does this all the time. It gives you the illusion of choice. Where like you'll get multiple dialogue options, but they will cause the same effect. Even there with the Diglets that we met before, the guy's like, will you help me find all my Diglett? You can straight up say no, and he'll be like, oh, that's mean, help me anyway. And then you still have to help him.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So first thing we did in this fight was use Safeguard, and that is because this Slowpoke spams Confusion, and we don't want to get confused. And we're just letting our health drain quite a bit, and also boosting up our special attack like mad. And then we're just gonna Flamethrower to win now. Easy peasy. The reason why we want to drain our health, glad you asked. We're gonna Death Warp right after this, of course, so we wanna get there. We wanna make it easier to Death Warp by being lower health, because the Pokemon in this tunnel are not particularly strong. Not enough to like one-shot us at full or anything like that. All right, and then we have Whirlipede, which is a bug type, so you know we're just gonna completely stomp it. And then that's Clara 2. That's the whole thing. Easy fight, which is fine because we can just straight up die in Clara 3. Outside of our control, so but we'll get into that a little bit when we're closer.
Honestly, this fight reminds me of like Gen 5, because like the same thing happens where you just have like a pig night, and then you're going through the forest, and then you just like burn everything.
Yep.
And then it's like 5 minutes.
Yep. It's easy, but you gotta get through it, you know?
Yeah. I also tried to say that like 4 times while I was muted, because I didn't notice that I was muted.
That's all right. Great. So the Pokemon we want to Death Warp off of is Sandshrew, because it has the most attacking moves and moves that can take us down quickly. That being said, it could just use like Fury Swipe, which will still not kill us. So hopefully it uses something like Roll Out. Rapid Spin is not good either. So this is why we want our health to be low. Because if we're gonna get rapid, Sand Attack is the only move that he has that doesn't damage. It just hit me, please.
This isn't a Death Warp. We're just setting up. Like this Sandshrews like level 99.
You would think. This is like absurdly bad luck. Okay, there we go. Like if we get Roll Out, we just die in one shot. But that took like 5 turns, which like sometimes it'll take 2 or 3 turns. That took like so many turns. Still faster than walking though.
Yeah, it's still faster than walking. Walking is just that slow.
Yep. So here we are, challenge 2 completed. Nobody else in the dojo got max mushrooms besides me. And then you'll see here in a second, Clara will come and be like, wait, I got some. So the only 2 people that passed challenge 2 were Clara and us. And Calithon.
Calithon. Can we get a Calithon in the chat? Can we get a Calithon in the donation comments?
Calithon in the donations, Calithon in the chat, Calithon in the Discord, Calithon.
Calithon.
So yeah, Clara's crying because they were going to use my max mushrooms for the soup, but she's like, please use mine instead. And we're like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Which is great for us because that means we get to keep the max mushrooms and use them in battle instead. So that's good.
It's really funny. They're just mushrooms that they're being put in. They're being put into a soup.
Yep. Funny bit of dialogue here. You feel Dynamax energy welling up inside you, and the Mustard's like, no, you don't. You're not a Pokemon. That's not how this works. You just ate some soup.
Soup was good.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get big.
Yeah, good ass soup, but you're not Dynamaxing, okay? Easy.
It's not even Dynamax if true. It's just
nah.
There were
full.
some good mushrooms.
Yeah, they're good mushrooms. They're tasty. That soup is good, but you're not gonna get big. All right, and then we're gonna talk here now. We're getting set up for the 3rd and final challenge, which is just a straight up battle between Clara and Calithon. This fight is bad. It can just be completely fine. It can be completely fine. What makes this fight bad is that Clara's last Pokemon is a Slowbro in the fight. Slowbro has an ability called Quick Draw, which means that despite Slowbro obviously not having a high speed because he's Slowbro, if the ability triggers, which I believe is something like a 30-ish% chance, then Slowbro will go first, despite us having like way higher speed. If that happens, we will almost certainly die. And it's completely out of our control. So we're going to save before this fight just in case. One of my first marathon runs for this, which was during, I believe it was mid-fall speedball, I died in this fight 3 times in a row, which is absurd luck. Or lack of luck, I should say.
I wasn't on comms for that, was I?
I don't think so. You might. I don't remember.
I'm just gonna say it's because I wasn't there.
Yeah. You're obviously the good luck charm.
Exactly.
Also, you remember way back we equipped a Pekka Berry, which I told you even further back from that Pekka Berries heal poison. The reason why we equipped the Pekka Berry when we did is because now it is still Tails, and Clara tries to cheat toxic spikes on the field. So as soon as the fight starts, we would start poisoned. But because we'll have the Pekka Berry equipped, we'll immediately heal it off without having to waste a turn or anything. So it's all in the strats. All right, so first
also
go ahead.
I was gonna say we don't get to hear like the gym fight music. So if we can get that in the chat, that'd be really cool. I'd appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, if we can get the gym music in the chat, please.
Yeah. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Or the donation comments. That works too.
Yeah. So we're going to do extensive setup on the Skorupi. First, we're going to use Safeguard for the same kind of reason we did on the Slowpoke. The Skorupi likes to spam Poison Fang. I don't remember what the move is. So we don't want to get poisoned again. So we make it so we can't. Then we're going to... What we then use is the Max Mushroom, which buffed all of our stats. Then we use Nasty Plot to buff one of our stats. I'm going to actually heal this off just to be absolutely super safe. And then we're going to Nasty Plot again. And then one last move, now that we're no longer protected by Safeguard, which is just a Flamethrower. And if you're counting, we Nasty Plotted twice plus Max Mushroom, so we're at +3 for our special attack moves right now, which just does absolutely massive damage. So now that long setup is done, we can just tank the rest, presumably. And now we're going to get big. The only Dynamax in the run right now.
Big if true. Wait,
Giant Ninetales Dynamax, and it is true.
Actual if factual. What the heck?
I love this too. The animation of getting huge, and then we just like, because we have battle animations turn off, we get massive, and then we just like dink the Pokemon to death. So Weezing goes down with one shot, obviously. Another Whirlipede here, no problem, one shot. And then we have the Slowbro. So please, let's get the no quick draws in chat. Please, no quick draw. If we get no quick draw, it's over. We win at this fight. If we get quick draw, we can survive, but it's unlikely. So let's see what we get. No quick draw. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah! No quick draw.
Let's go.
It's over. This fight is over. The reason why, so let's play this out as if we got quick draw. She Dynamaxes her Slowbro with quick draw. That means Slowbro gets to go first. When you're Dynamax and you use my fire type move, for example, it creates a drought on the field, which boosts my fire type moves. So not only am I boosted from being using Nasty Plot and items, boosted from being Dynamax, my fire type moves are also boosted because I'm Dynamaxed and with the drought. Now, if Slowbro gets to go first, Slowbro will always use Max Geyser, which not only eliminates my drought, but turns it into rain, which makes it weak. It weakens fire type moves, so like double bad. And then because this was the third time the third move that we would have done Dynamax, we would have de-Dynamaxed after this. So we would have had enough buff to tank the Max Geyser with the health that we had, so that wouldn't have been a problem. What we would have then done is de-Dynamaxed. The drought would have returned, because then after the Max Geyser, we would have gotten our flamethrower off. So the drought would have come back. So that would have been fine. And then what we would have had to have hoped for was a Fire Blast hit at the end, which, you know, you don't want to depend on a not a 100% accurate move if you can avoid it. But that's what we would have done to try to save face. But we don't have to worry about it because we didn't get quick draw, so it's fine.
Yeah, I almost expected quick draw to happen, but like you just like clutch it out. Yeah,
I clutched it out.
Really funny.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been great. I have not been I've only had one marathon run, I think, not get quick draw, but that was that mid-fall run, which got it like 3 times. So, and I was not able to clutch out a victory in any of them, with given what I was given.
Well, I think I know where our good luck came from.
Oh yeah.
It was a little donation by someone named No Negativity 444, who gave us $4.44.
Well, yeah, obviously that has to be it.
Absolutely. I mean, we can't have any negativity. We can't have any bad luck. It's all good.
So we're doing another date and time change here in my menu here, and we're actually going to save here. The reason being is we are now going to go on to like the third act of this run, if you will, which is we're going to get the armor of the island, which is this Cubfu. And then this is where we would determine our good ending versus a bad ending, or get Urshifu versus don't get Urshifu. The don't get Urshifu or the bad ending category, you just straight up release this Cubfu and then finish out the DLC by battling the tower with whatever Pokemon you want. But we're not doing that. We're going to use Cubfu, but that means that our Cubfu has to have specific stats for it to be runnable. Luckily, the only stat that really matters is speed. And there's a wide range of speeds that work. We have to have at least 20 speed with our Cubfu to be runnable. So I save there just in case I have to reset, but more often than not, we are good with the Cubfu that we get. So hopefully we're going to be fine. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, wow. 24 speed. Oops, I did the wrong thing. But we need to deposit our Ninetales though. There we go. 24 speed, that is beastly. Okay, great. So the reason why our date and time again to October 15th is because of the spawns that creates a fog, and we basically like psychic and fairy types that spawn. But what we're looking for specifically is Blisseys. And that is because Blisseys are big fat sacks of experience points. Great, so here's one right here. So you're gonna see this right away. Hopefully you want the first one that you fight to be a little bit low leveled so you don't get trolled by it too heavy. 11's good. 11's a good one. So you're gonna see here, we're a level 10 Kubfu, a little low level, so it's a little bit concerning, right? So even with the level 11, check out how much experience we're gonna get for one defeat. Of course, it keeps boosting the defense though, so this is a little bit trolly. I think that is the first time I've been copycatted by a Blissey ever. That's funny. That doesn't affect anything, but this is funny. All right, so we defeated this Blissey. Up 4 levels from 1. So they're just so easy to boost off of. So we're gonna fight a few of these, depending on their level. It will depend on how many we fight, to boost our level up quite a bit here. And
one thing I'd like to mention real quick, we're like $18 from 4,100. And if you wanna add 100 to that, that's like 4,200 basically, right? $118. That's funny 420.
Yeah, that's.
And then maybe you can show some dog.
Yeah, I'll show some dog for that.
For funny 420, heck yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't want to see some dog at 420 funny number?
Yeah.
I was going to say the one bad thing about depending on Blisseys is that they are 5% encounter chance. So their encounter chance is really low, but that is 5% at any given point. It's not just like 5% in general. So it's not unreasonable to get them, but you know, their spawns can be a little bit finicky. When we got one so fast, I was like, oh wow, did I actually get lucky for once? But now, you know, we're getting a drought. I'm actually cross the bridge here and see if we can get a little bit luckier across the bridge. Doesn't appear that way.
I thought the bridge was lucky.
Usually it is for some reason, but sometimes it's lucky when I come back from it, quote unquote. Come on, give me a Blissey.
So the bridge is still lucky potentially.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it's lucky when you cross it the first time you get them on the other side, but sometimes it's lucky when you cross back from it, and then you know Blisseys abound when you return. But this time it was neither, so that's great. Come on.
Oh, also, now that I'm remembering it, this DLC kind of scales to like what level you are, depending on where in the game you enter. So like since we got here like as soon as possible, everything's like super low level, like level 10, level 12. But if you went super late in the game, everything would be like level 50, level 60.
Yep, that is correct. So it does change the strats up quite a bit. Though if you did see that run from Etiquettes from SGQ 2020, he did the same strategy. He used, I think he used chances so as to not change the date and time. But there's minimal difference in using chances versus Blisseys. But same strategy. He grinded on chances and Blisseys until Kubfu was high enough level, and then went over to the tower. Which I would love to do if another one would pop up. This is this is wild that one has not popped up in so long. I'm
gonna push the deafen button, and then if that's lucky, I'm just like not gonna say any words for the rest of the run.
No, I mean if it works, but like.
Yeah, I would like to keep saying words for the rest of the run. That'd be cool.
Almost as cool as getting a Blissey. Come on, game.
Almost as cool as getting funny 420 and showing dog.
Yes.
Well, hey, you know, if you want something to put that money towards as we're working our way towards Funny 420, we do have a skin bid war for the upcoming Batman Arkham City run. That's pretty close, actually. Right now, Animated Batman is winning with $97. We've got 1970s Batman with $77. And then bringing up the rear, we've got the Sinestro Corpse for $20. But if you hop on over to the Tiltify page, you can see that skin bid war and get in on it. That run is going to be coming up here in just a couple more games.
Very cool run as well. I've seen that run quite a bit. It's always cool to see cool skins too. So get those donos in.
I'm genuinely surprised you haven't seen one past the first one.
This is absolutely
never
absurd.
seen this unlucky before.
But this is exact estimate is so padded for things like this. So for reference, my estimate, obviously an hour 45, you can see on the screen. My PB is an hour 31. So there is a lot of padding in there for when things go wrong like this. So this is exactly why estimate is padded the way it is. But this is the worst. This is the worst I've ever had by far. This is the worst luck I've ever seen. Where are you?
It's always the Pokemon Marathon luck. That's just the worst out of everything that you've ever seen.
I know. Where are you? Where are you? Come on. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Where are you, Blissies?
Can we get some of those like SoCal Bless? What is it called? SoCal Bless in the chat. Can we get that? Just like spam it, please.
Send me anything that you can. I just need the Blissies to come out.
How many do you need again?
It's dependent on their level, but you usually like 3 is the common number. Unless we get
found
like really
one so far.
One so far. But like this is ridiculous. Come on, where are they? Yeah, no. Okay, all right. So the reason why I freaked out there for a second is because if the Blissey starts taking off running away from us and it runs towards the wall, it'll disappear. So I was really worried that it's going to run at the wall. Of course, this is level 10, so we might even have to do 4 Blissies because we've gotten pretty low level ones so far. All right, so let's see where we're at from here. We're probably like level 15, maybe 16. 15, yeah, we got to keep going. We're aiming to get around 18. So, again, if we get a higher level Blissies, more experience. So that's level 10 is the lowest you can get, and level 11 is obviously the second lowest. So we've gotten the 2 lowest ones you could get so far. On Blissey. Come on.
At least this type of luck is better than getting like 10 Gen 1 misses in a row.
Yeah, I guess, in a way. Okay, don't disappear, don't disappear, don't disappear. Okay. Phew, that one was close as well. These Blissies are really trying to make me sweat.
All I heard was don't disappear, and then I was waiting for like the stream to catch up.
Yeah.
And it spawned so close, I was terrified.
Yeah, it was so close to the wall. Level 12, obviously the 3rd lowest you can get, so we're gonna have to hit 1 more.
Excuse my language, but... Bruh!
Yeah, they're taking forever to spawn, and when they do, they're so low level. For reference, they can get up to 15, which would give us some good experience, but nope. Keep getting the low level ones. Again. Yeah, honestly, it doesn't matter what the next one is. It's like it'll be enough regardless. But just please, come on, game. Don't play me like this.
1 eternity later.
Okay. Wait. Yeah, yeah, that was awesome.
That was incredible. That was incredible.
Like literally, I think that has to be the last frame. I think that it was possible to encounter it. It has to be the last frame. That was I've never had that
looked like
before.
It should not have happened.
Yeah,
guys, Twitch chat, clip it.
All right, we're out of here. Finally. Jeez, that was incredible. Whew. All right. Wow. We took forever, and every Blissey spawn was kind of a nightmare, but we got there. Was level 11, by the way, so we did not even eclipse a level 12. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this Chansey as well, just for a little bit extra bonus, since it spawned in my way. That Chansey is very unlikely to spawn, by the way. That's why I wanted to take it. Just for a little extra boon. There we go. Great. So we're definitely good now. Bouffalant. See that? This is why Bouffalant is the worst.
I don't know if I remember correctly, but I think I saw you avoid one of those before, and it was so hype.
Yeah, it's so like you'll see here in a second. There's one that always spawns after we do like a particular warp. It always spawns directly in the middle, and you just have to be careful to walk like the opposite way that it's looking, but you get like super close to it still. So I'm used to trying to dodge these Bouffalants, but when they pop out of nowhere, you can't really control it. What we're doing now, by the way, so the conditions that we need to get for Cubfu to fight in the tower, obviously we need it to boost its level up to be high enough to take things on, but we can't even get into the tower unless the Cubfu has like a special friendship bond with us. So what we do to accomplish this is that we go to like 3 particular areas on the map and just talk to like another like of these dojo representatives, and then basically all we do is we like stare at the environment and bond over it. I don't really know what that means, but we do that 3 times, and all of a sudden our Cubfu is very like the friendship level is super high. Hooper. So that was the first of the 3, and then we kind of just have to long walk through the forest again. 3, and then the third and last one is like just outside of that same tunnel that we fought Era in and got the mushrooms.
Imagine if the show was timed with in-game to be like 4 months long.
Yeah, it'd be significantly long because of all movement.
I was talking about the time changes, but yeah, that too.
Yeah, the time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it would be that. Yeah, because we started in April and ended in October. So, yeah, what is that? That's 6 months, right? Yeah, my PB is 6 months.
That is last place on the leaderboards by a fair bit. How did you get accepted to this marathon again?
I don't know. Because of my time travel ability, apparently. All right. Second of the points is at the top of this the staircase, which conveniently as well. Well, not conveniently because we still have to walk all the way back here. But the tower that we're gonna fight is the Dark Tower, which is also right here. But we can't like do anything with it yet until we finish this like friendship part of the quest. So there we go. We're standing, open mouths, looking at the environment. That's a decent view. I'll give you that one. I could see bonding over a view like that. Sure. The third view is nothing. And you'll see, I can't imagine why the next view that we're going to see would cause anyone to bond over anything. So down the stairs, and we're going to go all the way through that tunnel again. Luckily, Tauros is not the same as Bouffalant, does not charge us despite seeing us, which is good. Thanks for being good, Tauros. All right.
My only experience with them is like Pokemon Stadium, and it's just scarred me forever, honestly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we don't have to fight any Tauros, thankfully, but yeah, Tauros in Pokemon Stadium especially is jarring, to say the least.
They can just bully you sometimes.
All right, so right here, right as we're on this corner, here's the third representative. All right, take a look at this view and see if you could bond over it.
Nothing. Bond over hating it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair. But it's just like foggy sand. That's it.
It's so ugly. There's nothing here.
There's nothing to look at.
There's dead trees and sand and fog.
But like I think the only thing that would make that interesting is a little bit more of that special mushroom soup.
Yeah, that would definitely help.
Yeah, that's definitely big if true.
We're gonna we're picking up 2 key items here before we do another death warp, which is the Rocky Helmet, which when equipped, if you're hit with a physical move, it will also do damage to the opponent. And we're going to pick up this TR for reversal, which is a very interesting move that I'll go into a little bit more later. But for all your money, for your donations, we're going to do a quick menu here where we're going to teach the reversal. to Cupfu. And then we're going to go into our box. We're going to get our friend Squirtle out. And we're going to swap Squirtle with Cupfu. Now this is really what your donations got you, okay? This is what you have earned with your donations.
Yes, it's some Pokemon. Yes.
Yeah, this is a very Pokemon for sure. We encounter a very strong looking white period. We got a Squirtle. It's going to be fine. I don't see why it would be a problem.
Yeah, you have type advantage. It's fine. Oh.
Ugh, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. So
embarrassing.
That's what we use Squirtle for in the fight. That's why it doesn't matter particularly which one you choose, because they will both die really quickly. But you might be wondering why we did that at all. That Rhyperior was level 50, our Cubfu is level 19, and we probably would have been one shot anyway. The reason why we don't do that is your friendship level is based on a lot of things. Not only is it based off of these like 3 checkpoint things that we hit, but it's based off of victories in battle, and you lose friendship if your Pokemon faints. Now, most of the time, your friendship level is high enough that your Cubfu could tank a faint and still be friend level high enough for you to proceed with the story here, but sometimes it doesn't. If you use the Cubfu to do that death warp, it will make it so it is no longer friendly enough to continue, and what you would have to do at that point is go into Pokemon camp and play with toys and stuff like that, which wastes a lot of time. Very cute though, but wastes a lot of time. So in order to make sure that we don't lose that friendship level that we had already achieved, we swap to a Squirtle or Bulbasaur there, and let them take the hit instead.
Is Pokemon Camp the thing I see on Twitter with like the Kyogre propaganda account? And like the...
I'm not familiar with that account, but yeah, basically what it is you can go in there, you can make curries, you have like a little like feather stick that you can wave around, you can throw a ball, you can pet them and stuff. It's very cute. It's definitely cute.
Yeah, I don't know.
Slow.
They just walk around and it's in like first person and you like move it around.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. I've never seen it before because I've only watched speedrunners. Yeah. And they just don't do it.
Yeah. For a while, the record in this category actually did have a Pokemon camp in it. That was because they had to fight, I think they only had to fight 2 Blissies. So like, even with the like all the victories and the checkpoints and stuff, their friendship level still wasn't high enough because they hadn't had enough victories. So they used a little Pokemon camp action to get us over the edge.
Is that faster than 3 Blissies?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think in that case it was because there was very little that had to be done. Like I think you just had to like throw the ball once and it was fine.
That's really funny.
But that's no longer the record anymore anyway. But yeah, I remember like the comment for the record was like Pokemon camp in a speedrun. It's more likely than you think.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm not saying that you should do Pokemon Camp right now, but if there was enough money, would you consider it?
Yeah, if there's enough money, I'll consider doing anything. That is for sure.
See, Twitch chat, we are sellouts here on twitch.tv/Calithon.
Yeah.
So please give us money.
Sellouts for charity, for sure. This is the Dark Tower, worth mentioning. So there's actually 2 towers that you can choose from, which will change. What happens is you complete the tower, then... once you've completed the tower, you evolve your Cubfu into Urshifu, and Urshifu has there's actually 2 different Urshifus that you can use. One, it will be dark fighting, and one will be water fighting. The other tower is the water tower, and this is the darkness tower. Now, we don't have a choice. We have to take the dark tower because the water tower is surrounded by water, so we can't even get to it because we don't have a way of crossing water. So we have to take the Dark Tower anyway. But even if we had a choice to take the Water Tower, Dark Tower is still faster with the fights. So it's definitely worth taking. But I always like pointing that out. So the tower has 5 levels, 5 trainers, right? Each trainer only has 1 Pokemon, which is good. So we don't have to worry about too much. This first one is very simple. We're just going to Rock Smash to win. But if you remember earlier, I taught a very cool move called Reversal. Now, Reversal is a move that does more damage based on how low your health is. So the lower your health, the more damage you do. So that makes it for a very interesting mechanic, considering that our Kubfu knows a very cool move called Endure. So what that move does is if a move was meant to cause Kubfu to faint, if we had used Endure on the turn previous, we will survive with 1 HP. So you can kind of see what our plan is going to be a little bit here. We're going to Endure, so we get to 1 HP. In the very next turn, we're going to slam him with a reversal to do max damage. Now, because our health is a little bit high here, we're actually going to do a 1-turn stall here in Leer first. So Scraggy can get us down to some low health. That critical hit only wastes time, unfortunately. You would think it'd be good, but it's not. And we're going to use Endure. Voila, we're at 1 health. Another critical hit. That's just a huge waste of time. And then reversal. And this is specifically why speed matters so much for Kubfu, because if our speed was so low, we wouldn't outspeed things fast enough to get reversal off before we would die. So the Endure reversal strategy would not be useful if we were not fast. So that's pretty unique in my opinion.
If you see in some of the other like mainline Pokemon runs, like for example like Platinum or Emerald, they talk about, you know, Blaze, Torrent, this is like that, but like on steroids.
Yeah.
This is like roided up, like roided up. I can't think of it. I just said the natures. I just
Blaze,
said
and Blaze and Torrent, yeah.
Yeah, it's like insane Blaze. You just do so much damage.
That is highly unusual. I don't know what happened there. That's fine. So all that happens is when you lose, you go back to the bottom of the tower, which is fine. We will just have to refight those first 2 trainers. But we were at 1 health and used reversal, and that Inkay didn't die. I've never seen that happen before. So our attack must be like absurdly low, I'm thinking.
I think it's a minus attack plus speed nature.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I've never had that happen before. Yeah. Never had that happen before. So this might be interesting.
Again, but yeah.
This might be interesting. But that's okay. We didn't get terribly far, so it's not like it loses like probably like a minute, maybe 2. That's fine. We're actually after this fight, we're gonna level up, and then I'm gonna use a rare candy. So we'll level up to 20 and then to 21. So our attack should be higher anyway. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know the math for this game, so I can't really do the math for you.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll be fine going forward here. Bag, rare candy. Here we go. This is exactly why we get the rare candy. Sometimes you don't even have to use it based off of your stats, but sometimes it's good to use just in case if you're not sure. What I will do just in case is I'll actually save in front of the next trainer just to be safe. All right,
anyways, you found a new save spot for marathons.
Yeah, I've never had that happen before, and that's very strange. So we're gonna Leer, especially considering I still defeated this Scraggy, so I must have low attack. Oh, I should have stalled again. Whoops. Because that is, I didn't mean to run. That's fine. Will I survive? Let's see, because I can't use Endure 2 turns in a row. It won't work the second time. Will I survive this hit? Oh, baby.
Okay. Okay, so you used Endure anyways, basically.
Yeah, basically, it's like a self-imposed Endure. If your friendship level is high enough, sometimes that'll happen.
That is... that made my stomach drop for a second.
That luck, though. All right.
So now we're saving again.
Yeah, we're gonna save. Just to be safe. But like I said, this should be fine now because we've leveled up twice since then. All right. Yeah, Inkay is not usually the one that gives me problems. Sometimes the Crocodile gives me problems, and then obviously the last fight can give you problems. But yeah, Inkay is not the one I'm used to having problems with. There we go. That's what's supposed to happen. Great. So Inkay is down. Next fight, yeah, like I mentioned just a second ago, this trainer has a Croc Rock. So what we do is we actually heal up ever so slightly, because the Croc Rock is going to be faster than us. Get off one turn first, but it will almost always do a damaging move. If not, it will use Protect, which this just then means that it's a waste of a turn, because then our move won't hit either. So, all right, so Croc Rock. We're gonna straight up just use reversal on the first turn. Oh wow, we're faster than the Croc Rock. Well, all right. That's actually saved us a little time. Still worked out, so.
I mean, it didn't save like 3 fights worth of time, but
yeah, not 3 fights worth of time, but on that one fight, it's slightly faster than normal. And then we only have one more trainer, which you might have guessed is Mustard.
eyebrow time.
Oh, but you don't even know yet. Well, you might know, but not Pokemon. That's not what I want. Bag. So what we're gonna do?
Know.
Yeah, you definitely know. We're gonna heal to full. Nope, go back in the bag. And then we're gonna equip that Rocky helmet that we got from before. It's all part of the strategy. And then of course we're gonna save, because even if you perform the way you're supposed to in this fight, it can go a little bit awry based off of the moves that the Kubfu uses. And by the Kubfu, I don't even mean my Kubfu. I mean Mustard's Kubfu, because he has one as well. So you thought the eyebrows were impressive before. Take a look at this. Voila!
I hate it so much.
It's beautiful. And that's how we know it's not bangs. It is 100% eyebrows, because now those eyebrows are Super Saiyan. Alright, so now Kubfu v Kubfu fight, kind of the Spider-Man meme, if you will. What we're going to use is Max Mushrooms first to boost all of our stats. Very important, obviously. Kubfu is going to use a damaging move, most likely. Yep, Aerial Ace, great. Going to do a lot of damage, that's expected. Rocky Helmet does damage back to it. We're going to use Endure. What we hope for there is another damaging move, obviously. And then we finish it out with a nice reversal.
I'd also like to mention, just for tech, this is like the last fight, I think. Time's coming up soonish.
Yeah, we have a little cutscene, little 2-minute cutscene where we do the evolution and stuff like that, but then time's coming up. Yep. But this is the last fight that we just did. Things that can go awry there. So you'll almost always get hit with at least one damaging move, but specifically after you use Endure, there is a very, very small percentage of a chance that that Mustard's Kubfu will use Focus Energy, which, like I said, you can't successfully use Endure 2 times in a row. It'll just fail. So if you used Endure while Mustard's Kubfu use Focus Energy, you're just going to die, because there's nothing you can do to prevent it, really. So now we've completed all of the requirements. We're going to get our Urshifu. We just have to go and show the scroll to Kubfu after Mustard's done talking here. And like Ness said, time is coming up soon. So I'm pretty happy with despite the time being pretty bad. This time is not good. I'm happy with this run from an execution perspective. Beyond this tower, which I got destroyed by that Inkay for some reason. That was the only main mistake that I made. All of this time loss was because of the Blissies. Everything else was fine. We lost like 6 minutes to Blissies.
Yeah, the Blissies were really just that bad.
Yeah, which is just absurd. So we got our Urshifu here. Great. And now we just have a little bit of cutscene. Time is coming up here in a second. Still underestimate. That's why we pad this bad boy, but boy, this run was not good from a timing perspective. But execution, I did pretty much everything I normally would have, so I'm not gonna complain. Even though I died to that Inkay, that's what I would have done. I didn't like fat finger a button or something. All right, and time.
GG.
We did it. That is the Tower of Two Fists. Get Urshifu, and there's the Urshifu for reference.
Is it whale time, by the way?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Like I said, we can only really. Oh, you know what? Is it too foggy? Let's see. We can only really see it from a distance. I can't go in the water and go right up to it. Let's see if we can see it from a distance. While I'm doing this, I'll do my shout outs. Thank you so much to Calithon for having me on for not only this run, but for Bug Snacks yesterday. Thank you very, very, very much. I really appreciate being a part of something so important. Thank you again for throwing on this event in support of stopping AAPI hate, which is just wonderful. You can see the Whalmer in the distance there, very faintly through the fog, but it is there. Thank you, Ness, for excellent commentary. Yeah, and this is a pretty easy run to pick up. There's not a lot of intense strategizing or memorization of numbers or damage ranges and stuff like that. So if you've always been interested in Pokemon speedrunning but have been a little intimidated by what goes into it, this is a great place to start, in my opinion. Yeah, do you have any plugs, Ness?
Shout outs to Calithon.
Calithon.
Can we get a Calithon in the chat?
Calithon.
I don't really have anything though. Yeah, this is definitely a really beginner-friendly Pokemon run. There's a few others, but I think this is definitely one of the better ones, especially because it's like the most recent Pokemon game as well.
Yeah. Yep. So big shout outs there. And I'm not done with Calithon yet. I'm going to be hosting the finale run with Rico running Crash Force. So you'll get to hear my voice again, but you won't get to see this beautiful face, unfortunately, the rest of the event. But stick around, keep donating, and keep being awesome, Calithon.
Right on.